Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out the best plugins of 2020 for both Figma and XD. I will be dividing this video into two parts. One will be the Figma plugins and the second will be the Adobe Xd plugins. I'll give the timestamps in the description so you can click on any of the timestamps and skip to your favorite portion. Alright, so the first plugin is called GIF Maker. It allows you to add animations and create a GIF from any of your artboards. In this case, I have two artboards. One circle is in the middle and in the second artboard, the circle is on the right. I'll then select both the artboards, artboard 1 and artboard 2. And as you can see a little preview of these animations going through. And if I say save as GIF, you can always save it to your downloads folder or wherever you like to save it. And it will save it as an actual GIF. You can use this for fun activities like creating memes, or you can even use this to create a small animation with multiple artboards. Now the next plugin is super useful for productivity, and if I activate it, it allows me to create a timer inside Adobe XD. So for example, I create a new task and I give this task a name of, say, wireframes, and once I've started creating wireframes, I'm just going to click on this play button right here and it starts a timer here. Now I go on continuing my designs. I create a wireframe right here, whatever I want to create here, and I go back and I pause it. So in this case, it's showing me how many seconds I've used to create this task. This will eventually help you to understand how much time you are spending on each task. Now, adding lottie animations, adding code, and much more is now possible in Adobe XD thanks to a plugin called Hero. Here I can add different things. I can add an effect. I can make something like this cool glitch animation right here by clicking on glitch and saying apply effect to this little rectangle right here. Now if I click on this preview, it opens up a browser window and I'll say start preview. I'll just copy this little URL from here and then paste that URL right here. So it will basically open it here itself and it will show me the glitch effect in real time. So I think this is really cool, and they have a lot of resources that you can learn from. They actually have a learn tab which allows you to open a browser window which kind of teaches you how to go about using this tool. The next one is called Noi. I'm not sure which language this is in, but if I click on any object here on my artboard, click on this Noi, it allows me to add triangular geometrical backgrounds to any object here. So if I click on the start, I can decrease or increase the randomness. I can choose the size of the data points. I can even choose which color of triangles I want. In this case, I'll just set it to blue. You can even give it a radial or a linear gradient. It works its magic, and wow, see how beautiful this triangular mess looks like. Even though this is a mess, this would work very well even for geometrical backgrounds that you're trying to portray. Each of these triangles, however, can be deleted, removed, or changed. All these are basically vectors right here. Now the next plugin I'm super excited about. This is called Document Chat. This is very similar to Figma Chat in Figma, where you can chat with people you are collaborating with. So if I click on Document Chat, I say, okay, let's do it. And I say, what is my name? So I'll just type in my actual name, which is Punit Chawla. And I can chat with this name. And then I'll say continue. I then have to give a basic email address. Once you've accepted and done everything, your document chat has started here. So for example, I type in here, hey everyone. So if I've shared this particular document with other people using Adobe software like this, they will get a chat on their end as well. This is very simple to understand, and the best part is you can edit your message, so you won't have any regret sending anybody any messages. Now the next plugin is super fancy. In fact, the name is Fancy Maps. Fancy Maps allows you to add maps in a certain area. So if I click on this little rectangle here, I can add popular destination, or I can choose a specific destination. I can say my hometown, which is Delhi. I just add it, and it searches for a Delhi map. As you can see, it's already searched for the map. I can then zoom in with a zoom level like this. Delhi is right there. And as soon as I've found a place here, I can always change the style of the map. So in this case, I'll choose this really cool blueprint style map here and I'll say apply map. And as you can see, this is applied actual street addresses. Chandni Chowk. You all know Chandni Chowk is a popular place in Delhi. This is particularly old Delhi, so I like how they've chosen that. And you can choose any city, place, town, village, anything. It basically fetches it from its map APIs and puts it right here. Now the next one is super cool. If I create a color palette, a very basic color palette, I'll go ahead and create. I'll probably give this like a real bright red, and I'll probably give the second one like a sky blue or something like that. I really like these colors. But what if you wanted to create a design system or a library where you wanted to name these colors and list them out? So if I click on red and blue, I go to this little color list plugin right here. I click on it and I say add color style. So what it will do is basically it has actually given each of these a unique name. As you can see, red, orange is something that it has kept for us. We haven't set it. If I select this blue, Dodger Blue. I think this is a very interesting color name, and it sets all these properties right below that as well. So you have all the information you need inside these color properties, and it's actually given them names. Alright, so moving ahead with Figma plugins, the best of 2020. So the first plugin that I want to showcase is Motion. If I go to plugins and I search Motion, you see there's this one plugin at the top. Now this plugin allows you to create animations inside Figma, complex animations like you can do with After Effects. It has the timeline feature like you see in tools like After Effects, and you can even export it as GIF, sprite, frames, or even CSS code to put in your website. It is actually super simple to use. If I click on this little circle right here and I bring up that plugin right here, it opens up a nice timeline here, and you can always adjust it wherever you like. In this case, I want to decrease the opacity of the circle as we move along. So I'll add one keyframe to the opacity feature right here. And then if I go to about 1 second, I will again put an opacity here. And in this case, I'll click on the second node and say 0% to make sure that it's 0% in opacity. If I click on play and I've set the repeat on, it again and again repeats like that. I can of course change it back to play once. But how cool is this? And then moving forward, I can just say objects and export as GIF, sprite, frames, or CSS, and it does the same. You can even start a new animation for the same frame or for some other frames and multitask like that. Now the next plugin is called Ruri Ruri. And I know this is a funny one, but I found this on Twitter and I had to show it to you guys. It's absolutely excellent. If I go to one of these artboards or one of these screens right here, I select Ruri Ruri from the plugins panel right here. It allows me to automatically generate artwork for different reasons. It could be for a background, or it could be even for carousels that you put on Instagram or LinkedIn or wherever. You can select the width of these. So I want them to be 800 by 800 pixels. That's good. Amount 5, you can change it to 12 if you like. Template could be cube, bubbles, apple pie, euphoria. I'm going to go for apple pie because it sounds cute. And add blur. So there's probably going to be some blur values. Colors are purple and this pink, which is fine. Randomizer, I can adjust this as much as I want, but it's slightly confusing, so I'll skip this. I can even get images from Unsplash, and I can say, okay, go ahead and generate it. And as you can see, this has generated all these artboards. And if I break this down, as you can see, there are blurs in each of these artboards. So these are very unique blurs and unique artboards here. And if I break this down, if I remove this front, see how there are geometrical shapes. And since I chose Unsplash as a source, it has also used an image here, which is adding that detail which is required in this clay. I am super impressed by what this plugin can do, and I'm probably going to use it to create some LinkedIn carousels for myself as well. Now, there is a unique plugin called HTML to Figma and Figma to HTML. So you can convert any website's code into a Figma template and then go from a Figma template or a Figma design to HTML and CSS. Of course, it won't support advanced JavaScript, animations and such, but it is a really good tool to get started. So for example, I've opened this right here and I go to my plugins. I say HTML to Figma. And if I go to any website, say I go to something like google.com and I like the design, I want to kind of create a search design from my own self. So I just copy this from here. The URL I copy back into this HTML to Figma plugin. And I can set what width. I'll probably choose 1400 pixels. And I'll say import. And as you can see, it has imported the latest google.com images. Of course, this thing we didn't see in google.in, which is the Indian version of it, the American version of it. And as you can see, this has imported everything. This has imported the logo, which is the Google logo here. It has imported the share button. It has imported even the icon right here, which is the material vector icon. Now this next plugin is called Design Lint, and it actually allows you to see different errors or different inconsistencies in your design so that when you are publishing a design, you don't really make a mistake. Now showing this is a little tricky because it does depend on the design system or library that you are using inside your Figma. If you have a design system already loaded up in Figma, or you're using some library, then it will match all the components and see what matches and what doesn't, and then tells you what are the errors. That's the basic principle. Now the next one is so cool. It's called Fig Mockups. Fig Mockups is something that I featured earlier on one of my 3D videos. It's by a creator called Reality Tools, which have multiple AR and VR tools available. You can create isometric mockups and 3D realistic mockups like these right here. Let me show you real quick. You have a plugin which pops up. You can then decide out of all these mockups right here, 3D mockups, as to which you want. I want this little one right here with these bubbles at the background. I'm not sure what they are. And you can always adjust it and see how you want it. You can even personalize it. In this case, you can change the contrast. You can change the angle of this by doing this or by changing the angle from here. I'll say 25 degrees. Environment, I can say, okay, studio. And as you can see, the lighting changes according to the kind of environment I have. Now, I know glass morphism is the new trend, but to create glass morphic designs, you need to have some realism to those designs. In this case, there is something called noise, which adds almost a realistic noise to any element. So for example, I want to add a glass morphic background to this debit card right here. I find noise right here. I will be able to add some realistic noise by increasing the density or decreasing the density. In this case, maybe I want a denser one right here. And this will give that necessary noise that is required on any surface. You can use this for multiple purposes for making realistic designs really come true. Now, huge shout out to the best plugin of this year, absolutely hands down, was Anima. This is best plugins for both Figma as well as XD and even Sketch. It allows you to create high fidelity prototypes by adding code. I was able to make so many different videos, and I'll give you different video links in the description so you can check out how you can use Anima to add code to your designs, to add unique animations to your designs, and to even export it as HTML, CSS, and React elements.